So while we are waiting, not to make it very awkward, so during the event, please feel free to share your questions on chat, and we will also have. I will try to answer those questions as much as I can, and Alex will then take the questions at the end of the presentation, so that we can have a very smooth flow. But in case if there is any pressing question that you want to ask during the event, please put on chatter and make sure that I pause Alex to get your questions answered, right? And we will also share a couple of more URLs and links after the event, wherein you can see how you can collaborate more with this group. And the idea of this group is to create a community for the APAC Adobe Commerce users, right? Uh, so yeah, I think Manav, we are kind of 1 minute over the time, so I'll hand it
Great.
to you to begin it.
Yeah, so let's start. First of all, like many people are doing checking that from where they are, and we see variety of peoples joining. So I welcome all of you to our Adobe Commerce APAC user group event. This is our second event after our kickoff meeting. So I'm happy to share that we are 70 plus members already joined, and for this particular event, like more than hundreds people have registered, and still people are joining in. So before we start with the actual content, we are having some housekeeping things to share with all of you. So let's move forward. So first of all, I inform every one of you that this meeting is getting recorded. So post the meeting after a few days, the meeting recording will be shared in YouTube. So if you don't want to be shown yourself in the meeting, you can just watch the recording, post the event, and later on you can spread the recording with your teams once it is available in the YouTube. Great. Now I'd like Alex, our today's speaker, to introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. Thanks a lot, Manav. My name is Alex. I'm originally Ukrainian, but living for a long time in Germany, and I'm started my Magento 1 journey about 17 years ago. That was a really long time ago. And since that, I worked as a backend developer for a long time. And then I slightly started to switch in direction of basically first Adobe as a technology, then a tech stack, and then in the direction of the architecture and solution consultant. So I'm currently employed like a technical team lead. So I manage a team of developers, sadly, or maybe not sadly, not developing so much anymore on real projects, rather than checking new stuff which coming out, doing some resources, doing project architecture and support when necessary. So yeah, I'm looking forward for today's presentation, which I hope you will like. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you, Alex. Now I hand over to Vikrant to introduce himself. So before I hand over to Vikrant, so Vikrant is a moderator for this user group. He's helping us constantly to building this Adobe Enterprise community. Thank you, Vikrant. Please.
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Vikrant. I have been in the commerce space since close to now 17 years. And I have been associated with Adobe Commerce since it was called Magento and was in its beta version. I'm currently working as a senior cloud solution architect for Adobe based out of Singapore. And this is my out of office hobby project to help grow the community and share my learnings. So here I am to act as a moderator for Manav, who is leading this initiative, and for Alex, who is our speaker for the day.
Thank you so much, Vikrant. So this is me. Most of the people know me as I have organized this user group. Apart from that, I'm content and commerce expert working with Chris Techno Labs, and you must be seeing me as a speaker in many of the public events. So yeah, see you around. You will be seeing me many times from now, as we all are member of the same group. Thank you for joining. I would just say that. Yeah, we can move forward. So let's start with the our user group house rules. Okay, first of all, so our motto of the house rule is to learn, collaborate, and innovate. So we are here together to save the future of digital commerce together, for sharing our knowledge with each other, right? So no self promotion or pitching any kind of product is permitted in this user group. So it is completely opposing sales practices, right? And we also don't want users to contact people who are joining this meeting without their consent outside the this event group, right? And also, if we are sharing something in this presentation, so if you are sharing that information somewhere outside, so that should be said only with the consent. So these are some of the basic user group rules. Yeah, we can move forward. So let's have our first check-in question again. That what is your primary role or interest when working with Adobe Commerce? Vikrant, if you want to add something.
Yeah, we would want to know what role are you in when you are joining this call today. Just put it on chat, or maybe that would help us understand the audience better. Perfect. So I'm seeing developer, senior developer, solution architect, developer, tech lead, senior system analyst, great, technical lead, solution architect, developer, tech lead. Perfect. So I think the audience is mostly around the technical development, or people who are leading from the technical side of things. Great. Manav, that reminds me, we should also have some business focused session so that we can bring in some business
Business people.
developers, right? Oh, okay. Agency owner. That's a great one.
Great.
So many tech guys. So Alex, no pressure. Mm.
Yeah.
Not sure now what shall I tell about, you know.
Okay, perfect. I think we can roll on.
Great. So yeah, so this is the surprise for all of the people who are joining. Just scan this QR code and get a chance to win the $25 gift card. Share the detailed reviewed about the product, as you all are from the technical background, and you must be having the in-depth knowledge about Adobe Commerce product. So this is happening for the first time, that you will be getting a reward on top, like on against the review you are sharing about the product. And this will be helping product to save also, you know. Your reviews are very much important for Adobe Commerce practice. So please scan the QR code and share your valuable reviews with Adobe. Yeah. So if you don't able to, if you are not able to scan, I'll be posting the link of this post this session. So no worries at all. Yeah. Going ahead, Alex. So as we are seeing that for today's event, like around 150 people have registered, right? But we are having only 70 around user group members. So I request all of you who are joining, right? Please register as a user group member. Let me just post a user group link here also. So you can stay updated with the all the latest update about our user group. So you will be getting the updates directly in your emails. Okay, you will be receiving the reminders, and every single update you will be receiving as a member of this user group. So please support us and join this user group as a member. So I have pinned the link for now. People can still continue chatting. So you can also join our Slack and LinkedIn group. Okay, so we are having dedicated Slack workspace for our Adobe Commerce user groups, and we are having a LinkedIn group where we often share about updates and like post events details in our LinkedIn group, where 100 plus members are already joined. So please join there and be a part of this amazing community. So this is again a great opportunity. If you are the Adobe Commerce expert and want to speak and share your knowledge at our community event, please uh, please join. Please fill up this speaker form, okay, and or reach out to me, and we will be working together to make that happen. So please review the speaker form once. Vikrant is already sharing all the URLs here, right? So please copy that URL to you. We will be also sharing this URL to our Slack workspace post this event. So please fill out the speaker form. And you are an agency, Adobe Commerce Technology or solution partner, and help us with the non-cash services like promotion or like inside or outside outreach. You are helping us to grow this user group, right? So please join us as a partner. So I have mentioned all the details in the partnership forms, like it is a detailed descriptions there that how we will be working. Reach out to me if you want to discuss about more about speaker proposal or partnership inquiry. Yep, we can move ahead. So starting with this first question about today's talk, okay, Alex, now you can continue carry forward from that question. You can, yeah.
Indeed,
Have you
yes.
or anyone in your team previously used Adobe App Builder? Have you built anything so far, or have you explored, or have anyone from your team have did? We have selected the option A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Please select the one, and we can get the idea about current audience, right? So, oh, most of the people are posting A. Okay, so I commit to you, if you are staying with our user group and like staying connected with us, you will be definitely will be reaching till G from A. Okay, you will be expert soon, and you will be thriving in the Adobe App Builder practice along with Adobe Commerce. So great, we have variety of responses. People are posting C, A. Oh, great. So we
I
have a lot
see.
of responses.
I see, Manav, some my team members posted G as an answer. I hope they doesn't mean that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Alex.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for introduction. Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking for the answers right now just to see who have joined us. So we wanted to talk today about a builder, but about a builder been told already a lot of times. I don't know if somebody know when the a builder firstly been released as the service. I'm not. I mean, wait. I'm also curious about Vikrant answer. But maybe shortly let's have a look on others, because I'm not sure that our answers Vikrant will match it. Let's have a look. But yeah, I mean, then I would ask Vikrant, what would you say?
So App Builder has been around, right? This was always part of the Adobe I/O offering. It was part of the AEM side of the world, but almost 2 years ago. When was it? 2024, 2023. January was when we brought the Adobe AIO thing as an app builder for Adobe Commerce. So it was already functional in the AEM side of the world, but we brought it into commerce almost 2 years back as an offering.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh.
I found my own article I wrote in 2021 about
Mhm.
Adobe Firefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been Adobe Builder before, and we used it. I mean, we haven't used it on production system. We started to use it as a learning session because we understood that was like that is a future where Adobe is going to. And what we will talk today about, we will talk today about this future that took honestly like 5 years to reach the final goal. I mean, maybe a bit less than 5 years. And if there's somebody who joined us who never ever heard about a builder, I would name it as another way of extending Adobe Commerce system. And just to make it easier for you, so you can match it a bit in your heads. So just imagine when you extend in Adobe Commerce in a standard way, you create in the PHP extension. Creating one, maybe multiple extension, depends on your business need, business requirements. And you elaborate and use a lot of native Magento, Adobe Commerce, infrastructure elements which are available there. So you're using the MySQL database, you're using Redis, you're using search engines, can be Elasticsearch, can be OpenSearch, can be catalog service, which is also search. It can be even different third-party ones. You build in the front ends, which is since Magento been released 11 years ago, they released also Luma and base template, and it's still there with us. So it's not really changing within 11 years, despite any features. You still, while extending the code, working with plugins and observers, you overwriting the classes if you need to. So that's all what a builder also providing to you. It's just another tech stack and another infrastructure, but you're doing technically all the same stuff, just with another technologies. And Adobe App Builder running within Adobe Runtime, which you can imagine like a huge cloud infrastructure, the serverless infrastructure, and it provides you access to the persistent storages, so which is key value storage and file storage. They, for sure, it's not a MySQL, so you cannot write too complex data inside. But again, if you're talking about building the extension, that's have to be more than enough. If you need something more, then you're complex. Then you have much more complex use cases that Adobe Builder initially was created for, and maybe you need some another environment. But in defense on that, also can tell that Adobe Builder is working on bigger persistent storage currently that just was not released. So it's still developing. I mean, it's developing already for a long time. Then you have React Spectrum, which is set of tools for your a builder application to build the front end. I mean, the most use case for Adobe Commerce, I mean, for sure, a builder can be used on any Adobe technology. But the most important case for Adobe Commerce is to build the admin area elements. So you build in the different pages within your admin configuration of Adobe Commerce, or building the single page application, which have a valid use cases, but I haven't made them much in real world. So everything I worked with before, the main use case was to build a nice admin interface. And if you work with Adobe Commerce, you know them. I mean, this is the design you can see in live search, in dashboards of catalog services, and product recommendation dashboards. So that's all how it looks like. Then you have I/O events. So that's eventing system where like your module can react on different like events which happen within a system, which in Adobe Commerce or any other Adobe product. You can compare it with observers, for example, or even with the plugins in some manner. And what's nice for Adobe App Builder and compared to native Adobe Commerce extensions is that you can consume and subscribe to any event within Adobe ecosystem. So you're not much limited to Adobe Commerce. You also can use Adobe Targets events, Marketo, something else, because they're like all connected. They have APIs, they're all connected together, and you can publish events to the whole this cloud infrastructure. And also the events is an API, so you can use any third-party system and just send in new events there. We will talk, by the way, this about in maybe 10, 20 slides. You have scheduled tasks, which are cron jobs, if you compare them to standard way. You have API mesh. API mesh, I have a separate, very nice slide for it, but API mesh, basically your way of extending the APIs, which you're usually doing with Adobe Commerce if you add in new GraphQL endpoints or create REST APIs. And you have admin UI SDK. That's a tool, let's say, that's a helper for you to now combine together the Adobe Commerce backend and your page you created with set of configuration. Again, where the closest example is when you have this live search interface within Adobe Commerce now. So it's combined within native Adobe Commerce interfaces for backend users. So yeah, as I said, very nice separate slide for API mesh. API mesh is like another level of extensibility. It's still tightly connected with Adobe App Builder, the same infrastructure, like just another technology on the background. What API mesh allow you to do? It's allow you to merge different APIs together. That's like a main use case, which you will see on the first page of the documentation. But there for sure much more other functionality. You can not only like merge them together, you can create resolvers and modify data which are coming in and coming out. You can use transformation to rename your fields, duplicate them, remove them from the schema, and so on, which allow you not to write. So that's like zero code development. It's fully based on JSON configuration, and you just define which fields you want to remove or rename, and it's doing it automatically for you. And you can also control the headers which have been sent to target system. So I can also give quite good example, by the way, from the Adobe training that happened like several months ago. As you see, by the way, on the screenshot on the right side. So I'm connecting here two APIs, and one of them is standard GraphQL endpoint of Adobe Commerce, and another one is third-party ratings API, so which providing you ratings for product. So sounds quite easy. You can imagine Amazon reviews, for example. And it's merging them together. And by this resolver, it's basically adding the new fields to the standard simple product output. You're just defining, I guess, yeah, you see my mouse, yes. So you're just defining like a new type, and then you're telling that, okay, the simple product return object has this type as a rating. And then when you call in the GraphQL, you will see it directly. What will Mesh do when you will call the single endpoint? Mesh will do two calls, receive the data, merge them together, and deliver to you back. For sure, if you're working with API Mesh, be careful with response time, because if you're talking about non-cache requests, the response time will be as much as the slowest API will deliver the answer to. Then another point, which I also already mentioned, is admin UI SDK. So basically, it's integrate your service you build with native Adobe Commerce admin area. And we're not talking about only pages. Like on the screenshot, you see that's a standard admin area. And I have here this third party. So that's a builder interface rendered here inside. But also there are already a lot of native Adobe Commerce interfaces and pages, and you sometimes have to extend that. We have this use case very often. So what's admin UI SDK allow you to do? It's allow you, for example, to extend the existing Adobe Commerce grids, which built with JavaScript, PHP, HTML. But in this case, you basically defining the like new column and then defining the source, which is external API. You can add a new menu items within your tree. You can also add custom feeds to orders only now. From personal feedback, it looks like this feature basically quite valuable. You can do a new total in an admin area where you see like a new elements there. But as only add order customer fee is covered, this sounds for me like somebody came to Adobe, had this request, they built it and released, but only for this particular use case, which is basically, I assume, how a lot of stuff works. And I'll talk about this basically on last slide. And yeah, and you can also add custom buttons on edit pages. Sorry, sorry for that. So it's on an order view, for example, you can add a new buttons there with a builder also, which will execute some actions on your request. That's all can be done, just to remind you, without any deployments and any code development for Adobe Commerce. You have a builder actions, you configure in an admin area of Adobe Commerce connection to admin UI SDK to your builder, and it's pulling everything automatically. So you don't need to do anything. Then IO events, which I talked about. I mean, I already, I guess, told enough, but in general, allow you to subscribe and publish events to the runtime, and then you can consume them by API. There is journaling API, which basically provide you access to events that have been fired. You can also configure the webhooks from Adobe Commerce. So you have synchronous and asynchronous webhooks. So something when you send requests and you need answer directly, like, I don't know, during the checkout, you need to validate user credibility and you don't want to proceed with order if he will not confirm it. So that's something when you need synchronous request because you won't directly see an answer. So let's move forward. And the most widely asked question I hear really a lot is to how shall we make it a decision? Like we still have an old way of creating the modules. for sure, the Adobe Commerce SaaS, which is another topic, and I definitely feel that we need another session for that, like a separate one, just to talk about Adobe Commerce SaaS. But at this moment, I'm sure all your 99.99 projects are Adobe Commerce, for sure Magento, and Adobe Commerce Cloud, which still allow you to create a PHP extension, to create the Git pages, for example. So to modify core, even if some wise person haven't recommended to do it for already like 15 years. Yeah. So the main basically question is an extension or a builder module. And when I start to talk to people about this question, I hear really a lot of like questions, which are not the questions, and sounds like more complaints, or even be more precise, excuses. And I hear a lot of like, hey, I create a module, it's just easy. I just will create PHP extension and I don't care about Adobe App Builder. It depends. It for sure depends on the skill level, which is totally another topic, and everybody have to go through this, like make this big step to push yourself and to learn new stuff. For sure, people who works with Adobe Commerce for years not always like to learn a new stuff. And also in development processes of the Adobe App Builder, if you know the main elements, the development it's faster. I mean, it's really easier, especially if you're taking the JavaScript developer. But that's again another story. So I can understand some complaints on this point, but the main point here is that, I mean, you need to learn. As every new technology, just do it, but the benefits you get in the end much bigger than you will spend while learning this one. It's more expensive. No, it's not. I mean, again, if you're talking about development time, then your development prices can be the same because you spend, for example, the same amount of time. Just imagine you're not much experience, you even maybe spend a lot of more time to build the service. The expensive point here, you have to always think about future, and future is if you build in the Adobe PHP extension, you need to support it heavily because you need to really stuck to all Adobe Commerce releases. And what I'm monitoring on my own experience, the longer you, like the more modules you have in core, the longer your upgrade time takes. And also, no, that's basically it. The more modules you have, the longer the upgrade time takes. And also I see from the, let's say now releases like 247, 248, where Adobe not adding new features for a long time already. They're more doing security fixes, they doing some updates, but it's still taking longer time to update. That's what's surprising me in some case, because I remember times when I had before, like Adobe release or Magento, even new feature, and you need to align your code because it's touching a lot of elements or some backward compatible changes being presented on every update, and you need to go through list and merge them. Now it's not so critical anymore, but upgrade time still takes longer. I mean, one of the reasons which I counted several days ago, the core of open source has 301 extensions, which is a lot. And also, if I counted, let's say, my average project, I see that there is about 50 custom modules per project that's been developed and installed. Yeah, the most wide question is like, I don't know how it works. I hear exactly the same when Magento 2 released. So the people also told, hey, I don't know how it works. Why shall I migrate to Magento 2? Have a look where are we now. I mean, I don't know if anybody's still doing Magento 1, by the way. Maybe somebody can just drop or raise the hand if they're doing Magento 1. I'm really curious how many people are doing it. But still, in compare, it's not comparable anymore. Like everybody doing Magento 2, and now everybody telling, oh, I don't know how a builder works. So that's something similar. So the same step, like every new evolutional step, I cannot, don't want to say have to be painful, but it can be painful. And also like very popular is like, let's try to do something small, or let's try, like I would usually say, don't try, just do it. And the personal advice also, don't just open it for fun, because you will abandon it. But if you, on the beginning of your project development, on the start, you will decide, okay, I'll do this task with a builder, you will be much more motivated, you will do much more concentrated, you will learn faster and much more. And then your this learning curve will be much smaller and much more efficient. So decision making for Adobe Commerce SaaS. I put the slide especially as a first one. It's the easiest decision you can take. You have no other option except using Adobe App Builder or any other microservice environments. So no PHP code anymore, no Git patches, no access to the file system, even no access to the catalog service dashboards. So everything happened in the background. Only God knows what's happening in the background. So yeah, I mean, that's not something where you will make a decision. Then we come into real projects. So we have Adobe Commerce Cloud on-premise, and it's a live project. So it's already on production, and you're just doing the feature support, like further development, new change requests. Here you need to consider a lot. First of all, how many customizations you have already in place. Then the most important question is if you see that the customer is tending to go to SaaS in the future. If yes, then just do a builder directly, because then you will have a lot of problems. You will need to migrate everything to a builder from the scratch, and maybe customer will ask you why you haven't done it directly and go to somebody else, who basically will position himself as a builder-only developer. So this experience is needed. Again, especially if we're talking about SaaS era, which really jumps in for Adobe Commerce, we cannot bypass it to avoid it. We need to learn it, because in the market, it will be also a valuable point when you will tell, I know how to build a builder modules, so I can do SaaS projects. Then also how the task you want to build is isolated from main business logic. I'll give you some examples. So create order export for ERP for some third-party system is like pure Adobe Builder task, like main use case, like the easiest use case you can do, because it's fully independent from the core. And you just can build it as a service. It's not interacting. You don't need to modify the core. You don't need to change it like native flows. You're just receiving the order object and you export it. So that's really easy to build. And I also will tell you why it's easy to build a bit later. Change price calculation logic for the product. That already depends. So you may think about API mesh implementation, depends on what you want to do. Because you just want to display price for the front end, you can build a service that will take from Adobe Commerce, do some calculation, use API mesh, and deliver your price back for the front end. If it's something really complex, then maybe that's not the best task where you want to start to learn a builder. Maybe just first consider the core extension. But again, it really depends on your use case. So try to plan it ahead and not just take a decision directly. So the most important point for all this is planning before you start to develop. Then if you need to extend existing extension, I would honestly not recommend do it with a builder. That's then a heavy dependency on something you still maybe someday would need to migrate. It's already there. On my experience, I would just extend it. Or you have really heavy dependence on existing implementation of some feature, then yeah, I mean, the same for existing projects. If it's not going to SaaS in the future, I would keep it as a native module. For the new projects of Adobe Commerce, that's totally another story. For the new project, you can plan. So again, before the project, plan which modules you will do with, I mean, in best case, do everything with a builder if you can. If you cannot, try to plan it. So again, the same question as before, if you see that your customer is going to SaaS. If yes, then do only a builder. Then you check if you have all APIs available, because if you have all APIs available, a builder is very good use case because it's fully API-based communication. If you have them, do it with a builder. If you don't, check if you can use API mesh, because API mesh is something that can modify your APIs or merge them from third-party system, or even create it. So with API Mesh, you can create a new API easily just by defining new schema block and then some third-party API or some function you want to execute. If you can use it, again, do it with a builder. If not, check if there are deep code invasion which require to build this task. Because if you're really going deep in the core and doing a lot of rewrites, again, your future costs will jump to the sky, and you will have a lot of headaches and update it again and again. Then I would also recommend do it with a builder, even if it may take a bit more time. If no, then you can think about the core module. So yeah, I have like this decision-making helper, basically, which can be useful. So where you can make two solutions. One, I'm building everything with a builder. Another one, I'm building everything with core module. There, by the way, third way is to build the hybrid, where you have part of a builder for the same functionality, another part on core. That's something I don't really like because of the maintainability. But maybe there are people who love it and think that it's a valid point. Again, by the way, everything I said about decision making, please, if you start a new project and go to your customer, don't tell them Alex said so. That's my own opinion. I don't want to sign under the every use case. So yeah, like decision making helper is more like how big the complexity is, what is estimation and the cost, and then a maintainability in the future. And you can make two like options, a builder core, make this diagram and then compare it and see what is better for you. And then one more human factor is very important in the whole this migration topic and decision making, because the migration or going to a builder, it's not only the code migration when you need to migrate your PHP extension to a builder, it's also about migration, the mentality. So the developer have to switch in their head that they need to work with new technology and become open to it. And for sure, they need to switch the tech stack. That's the biggest the biggest part of the people, or like the more conversation I have about this one, because that for sure, like we all, if you're working with Magento, Adobe Commerce, we are more or less PHP developers. A builder is not PHP at all. The nice part that JavaScript we also know, because we're working with Luma. For sure, not in such a deep manner. But I mean, I was the pure PHP developer for like 20 years. Oh, I'm not so old. Yeah, for 20 years. And even I could switch to start to build module with a builder, and I find it quite easy, honestly. There are no, maybe it's now the good time because there are no too strict rules how you have to build it. There's nobody looking behind, so you can build your own module, and if it works correctly, then you will be more or less happy. And yeah, as I said, start with something small, but on real project. That's quite important. For sure, nobody perfect. There are always the downsides of every technology which you're working on. So if you started to new project, especially with a builder, there are only 9 modules available in Marketplace currently. For sure, if you'll go to Adobe Commerce Marketplace, you will see about 4,000 modules there. That's a big gap, especially if you start a new project and you see that you can cover 50% of your functionality by just grabbing the extensions, and it's fine. So not all customer use cases could be built with a builder for now. That's what I already made in my experience. There's still some limitation you may feel or you may met, like example, the persistent storage, which is currently not so flexible as it can be. And then you will say, I mean, okay, I'll do it with MySQL because I need those 5 tables and it's much more comfortable. Yeah, persistent storage, I said. There also can be data privacy laws in place. So we have a customers who asking, okay, if you want to build a builder module, for example, you need to work with customer data. The main question from them, okay, where my customer data are coming? Are they living Europe or not? Are they living USA or not? Like, and they sometimes not getting correct answer from Adobe because it depends on the server availability, because it's serverless technology, so you don't have dedicated physical machine standing there, which can be an issue. And also,
Alex,
yeah, so client policies, Vikrant, you wanted to say something? Or
Yeah, we got a couple of questions, so I just wanted to intervene you. So as soon as you are done
okay.
with this slide, maybe I'll just stop you.
Yes. Wait, client policy. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. That's a good timing, I guess. Yes, that's a good timing. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So the first question is from Suneet. It says it is feasible to create custom indexes or customize existing indexer using App Builder. For example, if I need to create an additional pricing layer for country specific pricing or top of the tier pricing, I want to create a custom indexer for that. Can that be done you through App Builder?
Um, the perfect solution here, I guess, would be Adobe Commerce Optimizer, which is not part of our call here.
Yeah.
If you're curious, just Google it. It's still in beta, so that's why it's not like widely used. If you're talking about current reality, I would say with the builder, the main problem would be the persistent storage for indexing. So if you want to do something like that, you need to have some sort service where you will store them. I mean, if you're talking about fully out of process, so you don't build it on Adobe Commerce, you build it fully separately, then you need something else. So a builder can handle the logic for building you, for providing you the API layer, for modifying the data if you want to, for merging or for calculate logic for the prices. But for physical storage of the prices, you need to or use your native Elasticsearch, which you have with your Adobe Commerce installed, or use some, I don't know, Amazon server.
Got it. So it should be outside the Adobe Commons, right? It cannot
Yeah,
be
correct,
maintained inside. Okay, got it.
correct.
Okay, perfect. So the next question that we have is from Ectrin. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly. Can you affect the front end on Adobe Storefront with App Builder apps? For example, create widgets, or is it mainly designed for admin functionality? The similar question is from Mayank, who I was going to answer on chat. But yeah, Alex, do you want to take this?
Um, what do you mean by storefront? Now in Adobe world, it can be quite widely.
Yeah, the word is kind of confusing, right? Because we have got a new storefront called storefront, right? So
Yeah.
ideally I am assuming it is more on the front end or Adobe Commerce storefront. Let's say what I'm understanding from the question is, can you affect front end on Adobe storefront? So the question is, can there be a front end widget created using Adobe App Builder and API Mesh?
I mean, you can. I mean, it just honestly just pure JavaScript. I mean, you can build any widget, you can build integrated within an iframe, you can build a JavaScript snippet that will render you the widget you want to. You can do it. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah. So maybe to add to that, I'll give you an example of a use case that I have seen and with one of our customer developing very simple use case and almost used in all the projects. So the for example is it's like validating the shipment, right? Where my shipping is. So earlier, what we used to do is that we used to create an extension, and then in that extension, we used to place the API for that shipping gateway. And whenever a customer used to come and put their tracking number, we used to hit that API and get the response, right? Using App Builder, you can migrate all these processes to App Builder and API Mesh. So you can create a mesh wherein the API can stay, and you can then create a front end app for it, which can stay in the My Account section. And the person goes and puts the tracking number inside that box. So instead of hitting the core Adobe Commerce processes and PHP workers, it now goes and hits the mesh and brings the response. So yeah, you can create small apps using it on the front end. Perfect. We are getting a lot of questions. The other one is from Ryan. In your example of using App Builder to change price calculation, does it require something else like Adobe Live Search to render prices dynamically, or is it possible with native Magento Luma PDP PLP? That's for you, Alex. Did I read it too fast?
No, all good. I'm thinking over because I mean, first I wanted to give one answer, and then after you said native Luma, I directly changed my answer back because with native Luma you cannot.
Yeah.
So the problem is of Luma that Luma is communicating just based on basically it's a PHP actions, so with your PHP controllers which deliver you the content back. if you're talking about a builder, you can modify if you're using the GraphQL. So if you're using the third-party frontend and using the GraphQL, you can influence on the prices which return back from the GraphQL by elaborating API mesh and a builder for price logic calculation, and this can be easily done. So that's not a problem at all. But the problem is explicitly Luma because it works on PHP level, but you cannot change PHP processing with a builder.
Okay. I'll take the other one very quickly because we are kind of going close to the time. Is there a way to check the metrics of App Builder users and percentage? Okay. Dev Kumar, I'll share my email. You can reach out to me for that. I'll answer that. For now, there is no, but you can always reach out to your Adobe Commerce CSM to get the details of it. Trust me, for last 2 years, I work as a cloud solution architect for JPAC. I have not seen any customer exceed their App Builder allowances ever. So it's above and beyond the cloud capacity that is provided for in the license, right? Manish says, is there a document of a step where we can create app without using template, the video and everything? So Manish, that is mostly to help our developers and partner community understand how to create quick apps, right? It's you can always create a custom app yourself from scratch without using any template, but the templated approach is to make sure that you are following the best practices recommended by Adobe. Alex, please confirm or reject if I said something wrong.
Yeah, no, all correct, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. I think we have answered everything. Alex, over to you again.
Yes, thanks a lot. So let me move forward. I shortly will touch API mesh, but really very shortly. Why I guess I only I have 2 slides for API mesh. Because I talked already about API mesh, but what I want to notice about or tell about that the API mesh is not really only about, that's my API layer, I can work with it or merge different APIs together. It's really the powerful extensibility tool. It can cover a lot of use cases from your customers where you need to extend, modify, or change or transform your GraphQL outputs. And you can do it with API mesh, with creating the JSON file and then creating the JavaScript snippet that will manipulate. As example, manipulate the prices if you want to. And another quite nice tool on top of it, because for me it was always the black box about API mesh. Like, it's possible to debug it, by the way. I guess on the beginning of API mesh, I made some videos on this topic already. But also what was not possible is to see any logs, what's going on, because you also want to monitor within the time. So let's say you created API mesh, deployed it, and you'd want to see when your customers are using it, what's going on. So now you can have a logs, and also those logs are showing you requests, successful, not successful. You can create notification. I mean, that's a screenshot from Relic forwarding. You can configure, let's say, if there is too many response status 400, then you'll get notification. So you need to have a look so your system is not reacting correctly. That's something you could not do with Adobe Commerce out of the box. And then also, because with API mesh, it's not so strict anymore, because you may have single products endpoint, which in the background connecting 5 different APIs for reviews and ratings, for pricing, for some custom metadata, and so on. So the logs forwarding will show you which request is going with which parameters, which allow you to debug easily where the problem appeared. Okay, I said easily. I mean, debug for sure can be not much easier, but at least you'll have a direction. So that's what you definitely want to have a look. So how to start and how to help yourself to learn the builder is integration starter kit. That's one point. So basically, starter kit's topic is something that's been created by Adobe to give you the good start for your modules. And that's something for example, missed for Magento or Adobe Commerce. Because for sure, for them, we had PHP Storm plugin. We had even the websites where you can generate the module more or less. But it was pure. So everybody that built those helpers tried to have unique solution for every use case. And they created the templates and skeletons, which is also cool stuff. Thanks a lot for that. What the integration starter kit, for example, doing, or basically starter kits are doing, they're providing you the tool set already with functionality which you can directly use for the most common use cases. So integration starter kit is built for integrate commerce and external systems together. So you can imagine Adobe Commerce, you can imagine external system, SAP, and then you always have some middleware. Usually we are building for our customers on Adobe Commerce before, that the new module, which fetch data, transform, send, fetch, transform, send in both directions. So there's a starter kit that's already a builder application, which has all tool set for create this connection. For sure, it will not connect you to any system. It has all communication with Adobe Commerce, so everything on the one side. And then on another side, you need to build connection to external system, and then you basically just doing the transformation, validation of data, but all functions is already there. Just go into file, write in a piece of code, and it's done. So I can give you example. We built HubSpot integration with Adobe team together. It was like last year. We spent 3 days to build it. 3 days of pure development for sure, another 3 days just to publish it. That's already totally another story. But pure development was like 3 days for one team to build such integration with this tool. It has already pre-built event-driven architecture. There are some samples you can just use and see how it works. They also open telemetry support. I'll stop on it for a sec. There is a script for onboarding process, so you can imagine it's like install setup scripts data you have on Adobe Commerce. And you have support for both authorizations because Adobe Commerce and Adobe Commerce SaaS has totally different API authorization systems. Because SaaS is built on EMS, Identity Management System of Adobe, so you need to authorize not against backend anymore, but against Identity Management System of Adobe. And yeah, what I wanted to show with this open telemetry, so it allows you to trace and to see everything which is happening within your Adobe Builder application. Like in this example, you can see traces, what's been called where, like there's like a set of the functions. Let's say if we taking the standard roadmap or standard execution flow, you have validation data, transformation, pre-process and send data, and post-process, and then you see what is going where and which data coming in and coming out. Then you also see all logs, and then you also see metrics if you want to, like different metrics, like how many times call been executed, how many orders been synchronized, how many products been synchronized, and all the stuff. So you can configure all of this easily, and that's a use Grafana dashboard for that. You can also do exactly the same just by forwarding to New Relic. Just a question, if you have a New Relic account to do it, this you can just do locally. And just small example how the integration of this part looks like in existing. So assume you have this validator that validate data from external system. So you just inject in the library and then calling them. So they like wrapping them so they can read the execution flows. So it's quite simple. And another point which I said, so Adobe Commerce SaaS has another authorization layer than Adobe Commerce. And currently, if you want to integrate it against EMS, you need to call, you see that's not Adobe URLs anymore. Sorry, not Magento, Adobe Commerce URLs. That's already Adobe Runtime URLs for identity management with your like secrets. Then you receive a token, and then you request it, or wait, then you exchange it to authorization token. And then with this token, you can make API call. And what is nice with those integration starter kits, which will take a lot of job from you, because they already has way to do it, like to have unique support for authorization layer for both systems, and you don't need to worry about. So if you will start to work with integration kit, go to the actions folder, you can get those two files there, and then depends on which credentials you defined, it will be authorized or against Adobe Commerce SaaS or against Adobe Commerce. And there's another one, this checkout starter kit, which doing totally different, but helping you to build the checkout experiences. It's adding like very nice functionality for adding new payment and shipping methods forwards from outside. So if you again reference to Magento, Adobe Commerce, to add a new payment method, you need to create a module, register with XML, create configs, create some PHP backend logic. With Starter Kit, you can easily create a new payment methods within the API, it will land, and then it will be deliver you back with GraphQL request. Very important point. Working only for SaaS currently, as I know. And for standard Adobe Commerce Cloud on-premise, I know there was a talk to make it as a separate extension to pull it out. Don't know how far away is it. I guess that's something only Adobe can answer. And the last one was API Mesh Starter Kit, which has been also released not so long time ago, which allow you just use the GitHub code space to create a new mesh within several clicks, which is very nice. But as for me, it was depends on experience, because I also need a couple of clicks to create it from local environment. But it's, if you never work with API Mesh, that's very good starting point. What was the time? Oh, okay. So, and summarizing all this modules topic, if there is Adobe Exchange, so presenting you Adobe Marketplace for a builder modules, as you see, there are 9 results for Commerce Cloud. There are only 9 modules available. You can download and use them. Also, you can download and use them as a reference. So if you start to learn something, you can just get the modules and see there's like more than 3. That just part of the screenshot, but yeah. And let's summarize it more or less. So we have a future of Adobe App Builder where it goes.
Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, we got a couple of more questions. Maybe
Yeah, sure.
So the first one is from Seoul. Is Auth2 supported for other application into API Mesh?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Is Auth2 authentication supported for other application into API Mesh? So basically, I think what Seoul is trying to understand is that can they use Auth2 authentication while they are using API Mesh?
I guess not. I mean, Vikram, I don't know if you know another, but I guess not. I tried it with EMS, it failed. I also talked to API Mesh team. They told it's currently not possible. I guess with Auth2 is the same.
Okay. The other question is regarding New Relic log forwarding. Can we forward App Builder logs separately for staging and production environment to New Relic instances? That comes with Adobe Commerce licenses.
That's a good question. I mean, you can forward New Relic logs, 2 New Relic logs from a builder. That's not a problem. I'm now thinking about separating the environments.
So maybe I can answer that. See,
Yeah.
in New Relic, you can you have a way to forward the New Relic app logs. App Builder does allow you to forward the logs to the inbuilt Adobe Commerce New Relic license. And when you are forwarding it, then you need to create a custom dashboard, right? Because currently what it happens is even inside even New Relic, you can choose the you can choose the instances for which you need to see the logs for. So you need to do that manual logging dashboard yourself.
Yeah.
The other question is
correct.
Okay, so the other question is how can we access App Builder and assign staging only access to the development team, given I already have access to Adobe Commerce project permissions? So I think you will share some links for getting the access, right, Alex?
No, not really.
Okay, no worries, Shyam. I'll drop my email. You can email me, and I'll help you with how you can get the access, right? And the other question is if the requirement involves building a custom module to store data in database, can we still use Magento database, or we because SaaS and blah blah blah. So basically, Alex, the question is if an app needs database storage, how do they do it on App Builder?
Yeah, good question. I mean, as I said, like Builder has possibility to use key value storage similar to Redis. Another one is to use file system storage. You can use third-party storages easily. I mean, even your own MySQL if it has an open ports and open accessibility. Because the problem is that if you're talking about Adobe Commerce Cloud, you cannot do it at all because you cannot access the database. If you have any like on-premise maybe installation which has database which is with open ports, you can just go there and connect. You can use some node module from a MySQL connection and connect to it.
Yeah. Just to add into what Alex said, so as a product roadmap, we are bringing Document DB as part of App Builder, which is going to be released very soon. So let's say if you have to store some sessions or some key value, right, storage, because it will be like NoSQL storage using Document DB. So yeah, once that comes out, you can store some key values in there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Please continue, Alex. I know we are kind of getting close
Yeah,
to that.
right. Just to continue from point you stopped. So yeah, in May 2025 was written that there will be extend DB storage. That's what Vikrant just said about. So I'll just skip it, as I know it's still in progress, not yet released. Text starter kit is there. I mean, you have checkout starter kit where you can modify the texts or work with texts. There is app installation, so some centralized way to install application, because currently all applications I see more or less has the manual you need to go through to install it. So not like plug it in and it works. So as I know, Adobe works with a unified way to install the apps, like because integration starter kit, for example, cover it, I guess, on 80% already. So the installation is very, very straightforward and doing it mostly with single command and with prompts you type in there. Multi-app management also already partially done. I'm not sure, honestly, like this statuses I put myself looking on the public sources, because I know that you already can configure multiple apps to single instance by defining multiple events provider, for example. And that's already there. I just don't know the further roadmap. So that's why I wrote partially done, because just for me, there are still some improvements you can do further. Just to know if Adobe has Jira tickets for those improvements. Something I have no existed. But yeah. So observability is there. I showed you open telemetry and API mesh accelerators. By the way, I wrote available. It's more about starter kit, but I hope there will be more, because there have also been promised to have some reusable templates, how you can easily start with API mesh, depends on your use cases. As for me, the most valuable are templates where you have resolvers which modify in data, because it's the most so tricky part when you're developing. So something you need to learn. Oh yeah, so last one. So my personal feedback, I guess I gave it already during my presentation, I hope. So Adobe is rapidly developing a builder. It's moving forward like really fast. I would call like 2024 was a builder big boom from Adobe side. There are a lot of team jumping, a lot of stuff appeared, which is really cool. And what is cool now is the assistance from Adobe developers team. So you can again use Magento open source Slack channel. There are channels for API mesh, for storefronts, for a builder, for live search, catalog services, and so on. And the people are like Adobe team are answering there. Personal feedback, please use it now. I have a feeling when it will grow up to, I don't know, thousands of developers, they will stop to answer it so fast, because they just will have not enough resources and people. So now it's very good time when you can ask the question and got an answer, and also send your feedback and tell that doesn't work, right? Like it's have to. Adobe team is reacting on that, and you may have, I don't know, a new feature from your feedback if it really makes sense. And what is missing for me still is high-scale project integration. So I worked a lot with a builder, but never saw a builder module that holds, I don't know, thousands of orders per hour, millions of SKU synchronization process or something like that. That was Vikrant, you said you never saw that merchant hit the limits. That can be true, just maybe because there are not so many merchants yet, like let's say with Adobe Commerce, which using it. So I feel I have like, this internal feeling it will come in. It will come in, but don't know where. So, and I hope when it will come in, then system will be stable enough and everything will work smoothly. Yeah, and also marketplace availability, as I showed before. So we need more modules there, just that we can easily plug it in and use. Otherwise, for now, everything have to be developed. I guess that's it. Says a lot. There's list of resources. I guess we also will send them out. I would recommend there are like 4 YouTube channels which Manav shared with me. So, I mean, one of them I know it's mine, but another 3 was even Adobe developers. I knew about it, but I haven't opened it for, I guess, already a year. There are a lot of happening. Yeah, and that's quite valuable, because listen somebody talking about a builder while I'm driving to office. That's it's
So
quite
we
nice.
will be posting all the resources in our Slack channel. So please join our Slack channel. Also, there are questions posted if you can help here, Vikrant.
Yeah, so I think there is the last question from Deepen. Can we create multiple event-driven app builder apps connected to same Adobe Commerce instance, especially if a single namespace entitlement is insufficient to 20 days? Oh, wow. That's a full mouth question. Alex, do you have access to Q&A?
Wait, I'm trying. Wait, let me open. Second, give me a second. Wait,
So
answer it. Can you get? Yeah, wait. Multiple builder apps connected to the same Adobe Commerce? Yes. So you can create multiple event-driven apps connected to the same commerce instance. This, by the way, appeared not long time ago, where you can have multiple event providers connected to the same commerce instance. Because before there was limitation, which I hit when you just develop one module and then switch to develop another one and realize the first one doesn't work anymore. Especially with single namespace entitlement is insufficient due to duration, complexity, and latency. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. You can have multiple apps to the same commerce already with latest IO. No, wait, IO. No, with latest Adobe Commerce extension for a builder.
so maybe while you're putting that, let me.
Also, we have something to post in this channel. So just give me a minute, okay?
I think we are over the time, Manav. Let's do it quickly before the
Yeah.
people do.
So I'm just posting a post-meeting survey here. So please fill out the form. That this will help us to plan our future events, okay? And your inputs really matters. So I have just posted the post-event survey. So please add your inputs so we can plan our future activities based on your inputs. Yep. I guess we are good, Vikrant and Alex.
Perfect. So before we end up, I'm just sharing an office hour detail. Maybe few of you are joining it. Maybe few of you might not know about it. But this is an APAC Adobe App Builder partner office hour event hosted by our partner engineering team. I have shared the meeting joining link and the passcode, but the thing is that you would need an access to App Builder to understand what all the discussion is happening in this link. If you are a partner, if you are not able to join it, please feel free to email me and I'll forward you the meeting invite. Yeah, but thank you, Alex. It was a great session, and thank you for being our speaker for the day and answering all the questions and letting our APAC Adobe Commerce community learn more about App Builder and API Mesh.
Always happy, always happy. Thanks for inviting me. I mean, that was very nice. I mean, I always like to prepare something and then, yeah, share my knowledge. That's making me happy, and I guess also the people. I hope so, at least, because yeah, I mean, the product is quite new, still after 5 years. But the more people are there, the more experience are there, so the more I also can learn. So that's the main point.
Perfect. Thank you, Manav. Over to you to wrap it up.
So yeah, people are raising hands. So I would say you can post questions in chat. So if there is any, or we can just wind it up and we can move over to Slack with your questions, as we are already running out of time, right? So yeah, thank you all for joining. Stay connected with us. We will be presenting more sessions to you coming in the next month. So stay connected and reach out to me if you have anything to discuss, right? So also I have seen a lot of people are from Ahmedabad posted, right? So if you want to meet it offline, just DM me. Or if you want enablement with the app builder, or if you still have some doubt, post it in our Slack workspace or reach out to me, right? So yeah, thank you
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
Vikransh.
evening.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Bye bye.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
yeah. I guess one question is there from
Yeah,
Anuj.
Anuj, I saw your question. You need to publish your app to be able for the people to go and procure it and install it in their instance and then be able to use it. I have replied to you.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
add their own store API key. So it is like there is this app exchange platform. So they will officially go and purchase that app. Adobe is not charging any fee on any purchase of the app. So you can actually sell the app as required. And once they purchase the app, they would then get a credential. They would get then you would have to create an interface wherein then they will come and put a key that they will that you will sell along with your app. So then only they would be able to access your app. So the
O-
complete process is on a link that I have shared earlier.
Okay, so I believe I need to provide that particular form in the app builder itself. Is it, Grant?
So basically you need to create an app, right? Inside the app, once you create that app, there is a complete step guide for it.
I have created one simple app.
Mhm.
After that, my concern was how the public can use my app application.
Until and unless you
Uh,
don't publish it on
yeah,
the Adobe Exchange, they will not be able to use it.
we are in the process to publish that. We are in the process after publishing that particular app. So if a third person is trying to install my app, so how that person can connect their web store with that application? So that is my question.
I would like to take this like Anuj, your app should must have the like Adobe integrations fields, okay, where they can add their like Adobe Store URL and integration tokens if you are using integration token, okay,
Yes, yes.
and by introducing the onboard script.
Mhm.
So the app will be installed in their store. And if you want to discuss more about the submission and anything, you can reach out to me. Okay, I'll be helping you with things which I know. Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you
Uh,
can
I'll be
put in
directly.
Slack. Maybe we can all respond to that.
Yeah.
yeah, great, great. That would be great help.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
See you
much.
around. Thank you.
Yeah.